Good morning, Linux lovers. Welcome to my world. My name's Wimpy. How you doing? Well, it's that time of the year. Ubuntu MATE 21.10 beta release is nearly upon us, so that's what I'm going to be working on now. If you're watching this video on YouTube, then this was originally recorded on September the 17th over on twitch.tv/Wimpy's World. So if you'd like to join in these interactively, give me a follow over there. Right, so it's Ubuntu beta season. I need to get cracking. So this morning I'm going to be having a chilled out cup of tea or two. That's so much better. And preparing the current in development release of Ubuntu MATE, which is codename Impish Indri, for beta release, which will be happening this time next week. So I'm just doing my usual ping out a couple of messages, which I've now done. And I'll move everything back to the Twitch dashboard. There we go. Right then, so let's think about this. I'm gonna need to download the current image from the build servers. Good morning, Takov. Welcome. How you doing? I don't suppose you've had a parcel yet, have you? I know they're arriving much faster than I anticipated. So hey Jeff, good morning. Welcome back. How are you? Oh, this looks like a new name. Hey Yannick, welcome back. King Egypt, is that how I'm pronouncing that? Welcome to the stream. Do I recognize your name? I don't think I do. Is this the first time here? If so, welcome. If not, welcome back. I have a Saga raspberry tea with some lemon. Ooh, that sounds very sophisticated. Yeah, I'm going for relax stream today. The thing I have to do is almost like driving the car. You know, I can do most of this without having to think too hard about it. Had a slightly later start because it was a late finish for me last night. We were streaming over on Slim DevOps last night. Did another workshop. So that's a late finish for me. So yeah, slightly later start today. Well, thanks for stopping by, King Egypt. Welcome to the stream. Oh, Yannick, get you with your double vanilla cappuccino. My daughter, they were late leaving for school this morning, and my daughter was like, oh, I'm going to have pain au chocolat, which we just happened to have like one left over. And she's like, well, how do I warm it up? And I'm like, we don't warm, you just eat them. And she's like, oh, well, I think I had it warm the other day. And I'm like, oh dear, she's going to be asking for a, cafe au lait with her pain au chocolat before too long. Right, okay, so Takov says my missus told me, a box arrived at 8 a.m. Still couldn't confirm officially what's in it. Okay, well, you might be in luck. It could be the stuff we've sent you. Right, so let's just have a little think about this. I've got the code chat here. Are we going to need a browser today? We probably will. Let's just tuck that in there. So let's head over to the ISO tracker. So that's where we'll go and look first of all. Good morning. Let's have a look. Definitely warm them. Well, that is, the ideal way forward, but when they're running late, there's no time to be warming things up. It's just grab something and go. Right. Welcome back, dude with a baby or two. No fancy coffee yet. No, I can remember what it's like to be in baby fog. Yeah, you just make do with whatever's quick and easy. After your stream last night, I started a stream for what would be an hour. Turned out it lasted over 2 hours. So Yannick is in our Discord community. If you haven't joined our Discord, you can find links in the panels underneath this Twitch And there's a small group of sort of Linux nerds who stream stuff. Yannick is one of them. He's been doing a bunch of interesting stuff. He's been learning Flutter, which is an interesting follow along. He's also working on, is it called Streamberry? I think that's the right one, the right name of the product, Streamberry, which is a Stream Deck alike solution built with a Raspberry Pi and the touchscreen kit, which I think is particularly interesting. And Yannick had been streaming his progress making what will be the new software boutique for Ubuntu MATE. So here we go. We've got the daily testing here. Beta release for what is going to become 21.10 will be out next Thursday. So Bill on the team has updated the software boutique, so we're just going to download the latest image, install it, make sure all the right bits are in all the right places, and then we'll refresh with the current beta release of the Welcome and Software Boutique and make sure that those work, broadly speaking, and if they do, we'll promote those into the stable channel and trigger a rebuild of the ISO, so the QA team have a nice fresh ISO for later today. So so if you're not in our Discord, there's a group of people who are doing Linux development and hacking and all sorts of stuff, and they're streaming here or on YouTube or on both places. So yeah, you can find out more about who's doing what over there. Hey Henrik, how are you? Right, indeed, Takov. Oh, I really needed that tea today. That's good. I do have some Madeleines over there, but I'm resisting the urge. Right, we'll need to make that font a bit bigger, won't we? Because someone's going to need to see that at some point. So let's go and grab the latest build. So we'll just make the fonts bigger in here as well. Right then. I have an Ubuntu MATE dev VM. And if you were following along here recently, you'll know that I recently updated QuickEmu, which is a tool I primarily developed for accelerating testing of Linux distros and specifically for the Ubuntu MATE QA team. So we will grab the latest Ubuntu MATE Daily Live Impish. There it is. So ZSync, if you're not familiar, it can do Delta downloads. So it's almost like how torrents work. You publish, an image or, a file, and then a metadata file, which breaks it down into blocks. So because I do have a thing for it, looks like the last time I refreshed this image, it was from 4 weeks ago. So this is currently looking to see what has changed between the image it has from 4 weeks ago and the image that's available on the server, working out what the differential is, and it will just download those differences, which is obviously a splendid time for a cup of tea. Welcome, Paul. Hello, how are you doing this morning? Hey, Nick DM. Have I seen you here before? Are you new to the stream? Welcome, anyway, welcome. So let's have a look. Let's think about this. We don't need to change any of that. Hey, Matthias, good morning. How are you? Oh, man. I need to get bigger mugs. Fortunately, I have bigger mugs coming. Work is providing bigger mugs. Yeah, I was definitely very sleepy this morning. That was definitely the start to my Friday. I could not get moving. I decided to sit around at home for an hour. So some of you may know I work for Slim AI. If you want to know more about what that's all about, it's all about optimizing, creating containers, accelerating the way in which you create containers. and manage their life cycle. And we have a Twitch channel, Slim DevOps, and we did a workshop over there last night. One of the reasons why I'm a bit tired this morning. But we've got swag at work now. And for the staff, we have large tea mugs with an insulated bottom. So I've rather selfishly elected to have 2 of those. So I will be able to make an excessive amount of tea for these morning live streams, which will be fabulous. Let's have a look here. Oh, a Chewbacca mug. Nice. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but this one's Darth Vader. And these are from the Death Star canteen. Let me switch the view here. Let me see if I can get the camera to behave whilst this is downloading the new thing. So it's going to focus on the cup in a second. Come on, minimum focusing distance. I tell you what, I'm gonna use the other bit of technology that I've mastered. So I did this a couple of weeks ago when we were doing the workstation tour, and it was an absolute dismal failure, but I now have the technology. So let's do this instead. Let's open a bookmark to that. I'm just getting my phone going here. And we'll hit start, turn off the audio. Right then, so let's try this. We should any moment now. There we go. So the mug. Oh, this is not going to focus either. Disaster. There, from the Death Star canteen. Property of the Empire. Do not remove. So there we go. These are my big fan of the Empire. So yeah, the Force is strong with this one, and you can go about your business on the other. Somebody actually stopped by yesterday to have a nose around my Empire themed office. It's a bit of fun. Anyway, yeah, so I like the Star Wars thing. Black, white and blue works well, except for the lights at the back. We might make those blue at some point in the future. Right then, we need to open a swag store. Well, at the moment, those community members, those early adopters, are getting in on the swag early, as you will have seen. So yeah. Hey TC, good to see you again. Oh, interesting. So Takov, you've self-hosted Video Ninja. I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, it's kind of obvious that it should be a thing because it's all open source, but I'd never considered doing that. Have you created your own relay server as well? Is it just the front end? King Egypt. These are not the mugs you're looking for. They are, I tell you this morning, these are the mugs I'm looking for. Although I'm a little bit alarmed at how quickly this one's disappearing. Right, let's go back and see how that sync is progressing. Yay, we're done. There we go. So it worked out the differential and it pulled down the differences and it's done. So that's good. So with that, we will start up that VM. Ubuntu MATE dev. And we'll delete the image that we have, the disk image. And now we'll start it, and that should boot from... Oh. Let's just say no to that. Oh. I have obviously got a pass-through configuration there that I don't need right now, so let's just go and deal with that. What was it? It was Ubuntu MATE dev. Yes, so I was passing through USB devices, which I don't need to do today. So let's just run that VM again. Right then, I'll bring this down onto here. So that's a good first start. The boot menu works. I expect this to work. I'm curious to see there was a change I was trying to make. Oh, and I'm reminded of another thing I haven't fixed yet. But this is gonna. Sorry if that was very loud. I haven't figured out how to tame that yet. So I think we'll just do an install. I don't need to test the desktop just yet. So we will do UK. I'll make sure that the important keys work, which is those two. Those are the two that will always tell you if your keyboard's mapped properly. We'll do a full install. We won't download updates as we go. So we'll just hit go for it. So glad you could join us, TC. You can't miss an Ubuntu Mate stream. Are those your favourite ones? Is that the ones that you turn up here for? So yeah, we're just going to do a full whiz over the disk. No, we don't need to do anything clever. So my name is Martin. Now, I wonder if anyone here can remind me what my password is. What's my password? Thanks, Yannick. So this is obviously something we're going to need to change in the coming days. I think the artwork is out now. I think I saw that the artwork is out. Hey, RJ. No, RJ, my password is not password. My password is test, by the way. Yeah, I think that's definitely become a channel meme, hasn't it? The my password is test, by the way. I had thought about like making up a I need to get more nerdy t-shirts. I've got like one of my old camp ones on. Which year is this? 14. Odd Camp 14. That was a good one. That was one that Mark Johnson from the Ubuntu podcast organised. It was terrific. There was a lot of excitement at that. In fact, that one was the first time I did a talk about Ubuntu Mate. Because Ubuntu Mate was but 2 or 3 months old at that point. Oh, have you? I hadn't noticed that, Yannick. Could you resurface that in that t-shirt mock-up? You know, like reply to it so it's current in the chat. I'll take a look at that later. But yeah, I want to get some more nerdy t-shirts. I was going through them the other day, and a lot of them have really sort of got tatty, and I thought I should probably make one, you know, for the channel. And I think that one is good. I like Jeff Geerling. He's got a t-shirt which says it's been zero days since I last compiled the Linux kernel, which I really like. Hey, morning, Popey. Congratulations, mate. Well done. I wish it was champagne, but this is all I've got right now. We have met on... Oh, we met at Odd Camp 18. Did we really? No way. Odd Camp 18. That was the one in Was that in Sheffield, Odd Camp 18? Or was that the one in Liverpool? Can't remember now. You've got the classic, no, I won't fix your computer. Yeah. It's been 0 days. This one's clean. This one is clean, definitely. You know when I'm wearing when the laundry's, well, Popey's, I think Popey and I were the same. When Popey and I did events for Canonical, like big events, you were given like 5 days worth of Ubuntu branded clothing. So consequently, lots of bright orange Ubuntu shirts, as Popey's just pointing out in chat. And they're the last thing you want to wear, like outside of the event. So when I'm desperately in need of doing the laundry, you know this because I'll be wearing bright orange Ubuntu shirts. That's like your signal. I need to do some housework. Yeah, we do. I mean, we got the old rubbish ones because after the Ubuntu color change, the plus size gentlemen were still getting the old EasyJet orange shirts, so we didn't even get the nice looking ones. So they're more like orange Hessian sacks. They're not particularly flattering. So here we go. Here's a new feature or a returning feature. The guest session is back in Ubuntu MATE 21.10. I'm very happy about that. That was much missed. Oh, my password is test, by the way. Right then. So here we go. This is fine. We'll send the telemetry. Chalk up 1 for the good guys. Right, we'll just close that for the moment. In fact, actually, no, I will reopen that. We'll open Boutique. So the good news is that it installed without error. It is working. This is all good. So what we should find is that as we do this, it should say there is nothing in the Boutique. But Bill restocked it yesterday, so we will test that very quickly. We'll eject the CD. We'll do our updates. See if there's any. There shouldn't be any really, or if there is, there should be very, very few. This image, the images on my password is test. This image is rebuilt about 3 a.m. every day. Oh wow, 46. Okay, let's see what we get then. Wow, okay. Looks mostly like Mesa and a new Plymouth. Okay. Mostly Mesa by the looks of it. Well, that's good. We like new graphic stuff. Thanks, Yannick. I appreciate that. Thanks for posting that mock-up. I'll have to get on that. I had quite some fun making Ubuntu MATE merch in the past, but it was massively time consuming. It would be good to find somebody that could like own that and do it. You're still enjoying, yes, the silence of Ubuntu MATE. The silence is golden, I hear. I'm glad that's working for you, Paul. I cited you as a happy user story recently. I was very pleased to hear that you'd made the switch and it was working for you. Right, we'll give that a reboot before we get into testing the Boutique. Which screen am I on? On the right one? There we go. So let's do a restart. Okay, sorry for those chimes. I need to... Got finger tied there, couldn't type test. Right then, let's close that. Let's open a terminal. Let's do this. And we'll do snap, refresh, Ubuntu MATE, welcome, -- beta. I think that is the correct stuff. Yeah, so this should be the new version of, among other things, the Boutique. So if we go to welcome, there we go. I can see it's pulled in that. So now if we open up the software, and now we go through the categories, here you'll find it is stocked. So Bill has been an excellent shopkeeper and gone round and put all of the apps that are supported at this point in the release anyway, back in the store. So that's great. I'm going to test one feature very quickly. Our browser ballot. My preference is Brave. And that's the other thing that Bill added. That is my password, isn't it? So we'll install Brave. So we've added GNOME Web to the list of available browsers. So there we go. It's nice and symmetrical now. Yeah, so Yannick, you and I should probably get together and, you know, or I don't know whether it's a stream or what. However we decide to do it, but get on and brush up all that good work you've been doing on the new boutique and what have you to make that a thing. So our browser ballot works. I'm not going to install all of these because this is on the work list for the QA team later, but I have now made Brave my default browser. So if I do xdg open into mate.org. Hey, welcome to Brave. Interesting, it doesn't know it's the default browser already, even though it did open as the default browser. So that's good. Let's go and look in the appearance settings. Damn it. So this is still not quite right. So I was trying to get to the point where the Mate themes are not included by default and just offer our Ubuntu Mate themes. So I'm going to need to have a little look at why why that isn't working. Anyway, this is Mate 126. So we're going to need to do some artwork. We're going to need to drop in a new wallpaper. So that's mostly it now. It's mostly artwork. It's dropping in wallpapers for the injury release and what's this? That's fine. That's not something I can fix. That's noise from the browser. Right, okay. So I think that is enough of a smoke test to know things are working. All the indicators are still here. There we go. That's done all the right stuff. So we can clear that. Good. Right, okay. So far, so good. This is looking good. Although the one thing is, I've made the light theme the default because I felt like that was the right thing to do, but I much prefer the dark theme. And I upgraded my daughter's laptop the other day, and she immediately selected the dark theme. Oh, there we go, Tekov. Great minds think alike. And maybe you're asking if the dark theme works with Brave. So let's... Oh, interesting. Why is Brave not refreshed yet? It should definitely be in the list of apps. Curious. Well, I won't worry about that too much yet. But I did apply a fix. So there's Brave. And then what we need to do is we need to go to settings. And somewhere in here, we need to say use GTK. And now it looks just fine. So we did work with the Yaru team to make sure that the browsers integrate with the selected themes. So Magica Ross, is that Magica Ross? Is that the? And you're saying Arno? What are you saying Arno about? Indeed, you were thinking I'd snap and flat pack. Oh, I see. So, Takov, that's interesting. I do know somebody. It may have been you. I don't know, but I do know that the default Ubuntu Mate themes, the light and the dark ones, these ones here, these two are flat packs. Apparently, I haven't tested this, but I have been told these are flat packs, and therefore if you install flat packs of apps, these work. But of course, in Welcome, we have this feature, which is the color selection, where you can say, let's choose something that fits in with our Did I get that? There we go. So that will install a variation that is blue. And so I don't think any of these color variations exist as flat packs. If you're going to do that, I'd be fascinated to know how, because I literally have no idea how to make a flat pack. And there we go. So that installed and applied the blue variation of the theme, including the backdrop, as you can see. Let's have a look. So Magica Ross says, so your position is you agree that the light theme should be the default, I think is what you're saying. Okay. Right then, so that's all working. I can't get the colours to work with the Uru theme on 2004. Can you, TC, can you just restate your question? Because I'm not sure I follow exactly what you're describing there. So let's shut this down. What we'll do is we'll now go and promote the... Can I do this from the command line? No. We'll go and promote the... Oh. Hello. What? Oh. I need to be up here, don't I? That one. So I'm just going to go down here, and on Impish Daily, I am just going to, for completeness, for Ubuntu Mate, I'm going to do install auto resize and just say, oh, I'm not logged in. No, I'll do this later, in which case, oh, I'm not logged in. Right, let's go to Snapcraft. And am I logged in here? Of course I'm not. Right then, let's go and deal with that. I'll just get logged in over here. Right then. So log in there. I'm probably going to need 2FA. Why does it always change? Some things about LastPass are furiously irritating. Not Ubuntu. Yes, Ubuntu. Me. That one. Log in. Right then. I see you typing, TC. I will be there in just a moment. I am just doing all of that authentication stuff. This does give me the opportunity to say, if you're using 2FA, and you should be, I've recently switched to Authy as my 2FA client, and it's absolutely fabulous. I can highly recommend it. So I'm looking for the Ubuntu logo somewhere down here. Where is it? There. Right then, put my magic number in. Right. Oh, I didn't type the numbers in the right order. Sadly, this password is not test. It's considerably more complicated. Right, okay, I think we're logging in now. There we go. Right then. Oop, what am I disclosing there? Hang on a moment. One mini moment. What is that? Snap installs. Let's do that. There we go. Right then. Right then, so this is the admin page for Ubuntu Mate Welcome. So what we will do is go to releases, and this is what was built through our CI/CD integration, and we're just going to move all of that up into stable and hit save, and that now makes that the released version, and that's done. So now when an Ubuntu Mate ISO image is created, it will now include that version of the snap rather than what was there before. So let's actually do this properly. Let's go back here and log in. Yes, log me in. There we go. Right, so we'll do the test report. And I see TC posted some questions. I'm just going to scroll back in the chat here. We'll get back to this in a moment. Let's just go back here and I will see what TC has. So TC says, when I choose the Yaru theme and then select a color other than the default green, the panels lose all of their decorations. Ah, right. So I think this is because, TC, I assume you're talking about 2004. Is that right? And have you also got the Fresh Mate PPA enabled? That would be my question. So yes, I'm familiar with what you're describing. I think it can be fixed. Correct. So you're on 2004, and do you have the Fresh Mate PPA enabled? So Win8 Linux says, any thoughts regarding the recent talk about GTK theming? Well, that's a broad topic. What particular talk about GTK theming are you referring to? And also, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. You do have the Fresh Mate PPA enabled. Okay,
thank you for
interesting.
The Perpendicular Penguin.
Hello, Perpendicular Penguin. Thanks for the follow. Welcome. We could test that. Let's give that a test in just a little mini moment.
Win8 Linux.
And thanks very much, Win8 Linux. Thanks for joining us and thanks for the follow. I'm guessing you're maybe referring to a blog post by Josh Strobel from Solus Project. He's not wrong. I mean, he went into a lot of detail in that blog post. If you've not read it, not you, Win8 Linux, but anyone else that's here, go and find Josh Strobel's blog and read his latest assessment. Awesome. Yeah, it's a good nick, I have to say. I agree, Yannick. He's chosen well. And Takov asks if I've tried Bitwarden 2FA. No, I haven't, for a very particular reason, which is I like to keep my password manager and my 2FA client entirely separated from one another. So I've moved over to Authy for my 2FA. Incidentally, here's an interesting little snippet for you all as we're here. Check this out. Authy is in the Snap Store, published by Twilio. So Authy can do multi-device synchronization. So I've got Authy on my phone, which is Android, and my tablets, and I share my 2FA with my wife, and she has it on her iPhone, and I have it on my Linux desktop as well. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And it's all encrypted with a passphrase of my choosing. So I'm using Authy for 2FA now, and the reason I didn't use the Bitwarden 2FA Takov is because I'm thinking I may migrate to Bitwarden as our password manager away from LastPass. So that's the main reason why. Yeah, so Linux Pool's using the MS Authenticator, which I read good things about, but this multi-device synchronization was actually the problem that I was looking to solve, because my wife wants access to the 2FA tokens and doesn't like coming to me cap in hand and saying, what is my token today? Yannick uses post-it notes, but of course you do. Cool, that Snapcraft interface is really good for releases. Yeah, Snapcraft, there's a lot to like. There's a lot to like here. It's not, don't believe the hype. It's not all doom and gloom. Right, so I'm just catching up through the chat here. Okay. The blog post. So Win8 Linux is saying yes, that the blog post I'm referring to by Josh Strobel is where his question was originating from. I'll get into that in just a moment when Linux, because you raise a good question. Hey Graham, welcome back. How are you today? I think my tea's nearly run out. It's absolutely horrifying. Yes, RJ. So Authy is the one made by Twilio. And gosh, yeah. So I've explained how I separate those two things. And Winate Linux is using Keysmith on the Pine phone. So is Keysmith a password manager or the 2FA client, or both of those things? And Yannick, is there a way to migrate one 2FA thing to Authy? Yes, there is. In the Google Authenticator, there is an export function, and what you can do is you can select all of your accounts and it will choose which ones you want to display as a QR code, and it will generate a QR code for them, and you can scan it on the new 2FA client to add it. And when it's added to the client on Google Authenticator, you say go to the next one, and the next QR code appears and you scan it. So it's a little bit manual, but there is a way to actually sort of pull them over one at a time. And then I just go down the list on the two devices with Google Authenticator and the new, Authy, and just make sure that all of them are displaying all the right codes. And that's how I did it. But I didn't actually do it quite like that, because I only had a few tokens in Google Authenticator this time round. I was actually using Aegis, and that had a similar capability. So, gosh, lots of questions on 2FA. So King Egypt says they moved from LastPass to Bitwarden. It was painless and I really like it. Yeah. The only problem is that I'm moving to iPhone. In fact, at 1 o'clock today, in just over 2 hours, I am confirming my pre-order for the iPhone 13. And LastPass on iPhone, I now know, is amazing compared to how it works on Android, because I set it up for my wife last weekend. So I'm going to live with it for a bit on iPhone before I make a decision about whether or not I switch to something else. Winate Linux says Keysmith is... Oh, it just disappeared off screen. Keysmith is... Scrolls back. Oh gosh, I've lost it. Bother. Oh, sorry. Your thing scrolled off the screen and it's all moving so quickly I'm struggling to keep up. Keysmith is a 2FA client. Oh, from Plasma Mobile. Nice. Okay. Hey, Dan Simmons. How are you? Nice to see you again. Graham, glad to hear you're all good. Getting ready for the weekend. Lovely. Vintage computing gear on eBay. Are you Alan Pope? Right then. And RJ, I know I should use, but I'm paranoid about getting locked out of everything. So that's one good thing about Authy, RJ, is that you can do multiple device synchronization, and it has a backup feature as well. So you have to provide a master password to encrypt all of your stuff so it can send it to multiple devices and back it up in encrypted form. But now we've got Authy on, well, at least 4 devices. Our risk of losing everything is significantly reduced. And the other thing you can do is, for each of the services that have a 2FA option, there is usually some backup or recovery capability. Either provide your mobile phone as like a recovery mechanism, or generate a list of codes that are one-time codes for recovery. And, you capture those codes and put them in the notes in your password manager. So if the worst happens, you've got a way back. NPass. Yeah, I used NPass for a while. That was quite good. Wow, all this password talk. Everyone loves a good password manager and a good 2FA client, it seems. Right, where was I? What was I doing? I was about to... I did log in, didn't I? I logged in over here, and the first thing I was going to do was do this. So Keysmith seems popular. So if you're using Keysmith on PiPhone, I assume that means you are using Plasma Mobile as the OS on PinePhone. Give it a go then. Yeah, be brave. Maybe just do one account. Just like, what is your least important account, and do it properly and just get comfortable with the process. And once you're comfortable with it, you can do some others. Right then, so we tested an install with auto resize, and I'm going to say that passed with no bugs. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back here, choose our Impish daily. We're going to highlight Ubuntu MATE in this list. So this is what the flavor leads use. You'll see here all of the flavors are listed. Well, you can log into this. If you've got a Launchpad account, you can see this. But you can see each of the flavors, and you can see the bugs people are reporting against the images. Now what I'm going to do is, because I'm the flavor lead for Ubuntu MATE, is I'm going to request a rebuild. So we promoted that snap to the stable channel. So now I'm going to request a rebuild, and that will create a new ISO image. It will take 45 minutes, something like that. And then that image will be available for the QA team. Most of the QA team are in the US, so that will be available for them for their evenings later and their weekend ahead, for them to test. So that should say down here somewhere that it's rebuilding. Yeah, there we go, rebuilding. So that's that done. Right then, let's get back to this then. So King Egypt says, I have an iPhone and an iPad, and Bitwarden works really well. That's good to know. That said, LastPass was good too. Yeah, LastPass behaves, its integration on iPhone is just light years ahead of what you get on Android. It's amazing. I was really shocked at like how different and how much better it is. So yeah. You see, you've got Bitwarden Family Sync. Yeah, I mean, I do that with LastPass as well. I would prefer to spend money with Bitwarden, and it's just sort of laziness of actually going through the process of migrating from one to the other that's holding me up. I've no other reason other than that. Working on UB ports. It's interesting. I was talking to a good friend of mine yesterday, Mike Gabriel, who's a Debian developer, and he now runs a small business in Germany of basically freelance open source developers, and he's doing loads of work with German government and German municipalities. One of the things, he's got 2 full-time developers on his payroll working on UB ports, which is just amazing, I think. So yeah, you know, there's a lot going on that people don't realise with some of these projects, and there may be a touching point with Mate Desktop and Debian with some of this. In fact, I think it's being announced next week, but you'll be familiar with that whole thing in Germany where, you know, Microsoft were trying to, you know, put the dampener on one of the municipalities, you know, walking back their move to Linux. Well, it's going to become mandated in parts of Germany that you have to use free and open desktop solutions. Yeah, it was Munich. Yeah, but this isn't a city announcement. This is a regional announcement in the north of Germany, and it's seen as significant because, generally speaking, whatever this region does, it's kind of the trendsetter for IT policy throughout Germany. So yeah, it could be quite significant for seeing, you know, broad adoption of open source technologies, in particular desktop Linux in government facilities. And yeah, I've had a conversation about the role that Mate Desktop might play in that. So, well, interesting. Yeah, I can't really talk about it, but SUSE have been involved in those negotiations, but I don't think they're the front runner from what I was told yesterday. Yeah, it would be nice to see a bigger foothold of desktop Linux in, places where, taxpayers' money is being spent. You don't get, you don't get anything for free because, part of this arrangement in Germany, there are organizations that have been set up to handle the deployment, configuration, tech support, end user support for these large deployments. That obviously doesn't come for free, but it does. You need that anyway. It's the licensing costs where you can potentially save some money, and instead of investing in licensing costs, you can invest what was licensing cost in skilling up and educating people to do that tech support and what have you, and you can actually create more jobs in the local economy for people to service those people that are now running desktop Linux. So it's complicated, but there's definitely some upsides there. Yes, it's early days in those conversations. I'm not sure what role I'm going to play in that yet, but I'm giving it some serious consideration. Hey, Dr. Ija, good morning. Oh, you're from Northern Germany. So does this sound familiar to you? Because I believe this is news in your region at the moment. So yeah. What's this? I'm being sent something about an image. I don't know why. Oh, but yeah, okay. You don't know. Fair enough. Yeah, I think the general. Yes, it can support job creation for sure. Because when you're paying your licensing fee, that usually encompasses some support contract as well. Anyway, I'm kind of off topic a little bit there. Anyway, rah go. Let's see if we can make the Linux desktop better and get more adoption and more use, even if it's not going to be absolutely rampant. So it's going to be mandatory for Ubuntu MATE team to speak German. I don't know about that. Well, the conversation I had yesterday was in English, thankfully. We'll see where it goes, but I'm having a good hard think about this one. It'll be interesting to see what might happen. So Valve will help with Linux desktop adoption soon enough. Well, yeah, it's not Linux desktop adoption, is it though? And because of the nature of the Steam Deck, it's just a device in the same way that Android is a device. I mean, it helps that there is a desktop mode on the Steam Deck, but I wonder how many people that aren't Linux nerds will use that for anything, serious. Be interesting to see for sure. I mean, I have thrown my hat in the ring on that one. I intend to get one. You're not far from Germany. Well, you never know. This policy might make its way to the Swiss mountains, Yannick. You never know. Well, I think that was kind of it, right? I tested the thing, I've promoted the thing, Ubuntu Mate's working, rah, it's good. So I think next week maybe I'll be doing some work on uplifting the artwork in Ubuntu Mate for the new release. So we'll get hold of the new mascots and all the rest of it and recolor things and update the installer imagery. That's definitely something I need to do next week. And I'll probably do a bit more work on what I started. So yesterday I was creating a shell script to install Docker Slim to improve the Docker Slim installation instructions, and in fact I did a bit more on that yesterday, so we could just take a quick look and see where that is. I'll just bring no, let's do it properly. Let's do that. Oh gosh, that's opened over here and it's a massive window. Let's move that down here. So this we're going to take for a test drive later. So we're doing an office hours for Slim AI a little bit later today, in about 4 hours, something like that, over on the Slim AI Discord. And that's a continuation of the workshop we did last night. So we had a container that ended up being 900 megabytes last night. So we're going to use our open source Docker Slim tool to minify that container and go through that whole process, and then use the Slim developer platform to do the container diffing and exploration to see actually what happened. What did Docker Slim do to your container to make it, in some cases, 30 times smaller? So installing Docker Slim is a multi-step process. So I've written this shell script, which I intend to submit to the project to make it easier. And then the continuation of this, speaking to Kyle, who is the creator of Docker Slim and our CTO, I think we might get into making debs and RPMs and snaps of Docker Slim to make it easy to get Docker Slim in any way that you may want to get hold of Docker Slim. But this was my first stab at it, and yeah, it's a tidy little script. And what I did was I noticed that we needed to account for the fact that the distribution paths were slightly different depending on the platform. So I've just added that support. So it should work on an M1 Mac now. Anyway, any of you that are going to join us for office hours on the Slim DevOps Discord later, you get to try this out. You get to guinea pig it. It does work, I think, but it won't do anything bad if it doesn't. Right then. We need more machines from mainstream hardware OEMs. Yeah, Linux, Paul, I think you're dead right. And that was a big focus of mine. You know, when I was at Canonical leading the desktop team, the thing that I worked hardest on was enabling Ubuntu on more devices from Dell, HP and Lenovo, because I agree 100% that is the way forward. Renovis, thanks very much for the follow and welcome to the stream. So last year, or the last financial year, Canonical enabled more devices with Dell, HP and Lenovo in that 1 year than at any point in the past. So I think of that as a sort of, you know, a success for our team in what we did there, and long may it continue. So there's a few more questions. There are dev kits. I'm not sure what that in relation to. I've lost some of the chat, unfortunately. Thank you all for these great questions and conversation this morning. It was because, RJ says it was because of your video yesterday that I had no problem in talking about using man pages or asking for help from others at an interview yesterday. Is that comment to me? I don't know who that's a comment for, but I'm glad you got some value out of being here yesterday that helped you. Yeah, I mean, nobody knows everything. I mean, I frequently consult the man pages and the help flags in utilities. Yeah. I mean, that's part of why I do this. I get significant value out of doing this because it's quite often that I'm doing something and somebody will tell me a better way of doing it or correct a mistake I'm making. So I love that, you know, and I kind of get like virtual pair programming, and I'm going to be doing a lot of these things anyway. So I just have a little bit of forethought about, well, I've got a thing I need to do. I will do that on a live stream because maybe somebody will learn something or pick up a new thing through doing it. And quite often we go off on a tangent. You know, we went off on an audio tangent, you know, talking about earbuds and microphones and stuff, Bluetooth low latency. And sometimes we go off on a tangent about a particular tool and using a particular tool. And, you know, if people learn something, then terrific. I'm more than happy for that. I see there's quite a few more people in here than usual. So hello, everyone that's new. I can't see who's in here that's new. But if you are and you haven't said hello, do say hello in chat. We do like to sort of get to know the new visitors and the return visitors and understand their interests and all the rest of it. It's we're a friendly crowd here. I stream most mornings, cup of tea and a chat and get some stuff done. And if you're into Linux or want to know more about Linux, we've got a very friendly Discord server that you'll find in the panels underneath here. So, you know, come along and join up. We're a friendly bunch. Thanks very much. Is that CAJ Davidson? Catch Davidson? Well, thanks very much for the follow and welcome. Professor Neurus, also thank you for the follow. Renovius, wow, there's so many follows today. Thank you all very much. That's very heartwarming. So Graham says, I used to worry about Linux desktop adoption 20 years ago. I realised that it's going nowhere. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd like to see it break through in some way. I feel like it's going to be a popular niche. It's going to grow in popularity, but it's going to be a niche. I see Linux desktop becoming that sort of, you know, productivity workstation for a particular class of professional. And that's obviously going to be like, you know, DevOps, and I think data science is going to be a big area where it's dominant. And maybe, if we're lucky, the other thing I'd like to see is high-end media production. When we look at the likes of DaVinci Resolve and also the professional suites that have been developed inside the movie studios for special effects work and things like that. And I'm thinking like Pixar and Disney and Wichita, all of their stuff runs on Linux, but it's all, you know, it's their magic sauce that they keep behind closed doors. But I'd like to see us, you know, succeed there more. Welcome, Professor Neurus. Thanks very much for stopping by. Welcome to the stream. Uses a system, so yeah, Gary Kasparov. Yes, I saw. Yeah, there are, you know, there are pockets of, you know, high-profile individuals, but yeah, you know, it's rare. It's a rarity still. You know, we're a rare bunch. Yeah. And on that point about studios, you may have seen, you know, Canonical announced recently that they're offering commercial support for Blender on behalf of the Blender Foundation. And when I was at Canonical, that was one of the conversations I was involved in. The Blender Foundation approached us and said, because of the significant investment that they now see from the likes of Sony, for example, and also the game studios, they wanted to be able to offer like tier 1 support to their, you know, paying sponsors, and they simply weren't geared up to do that. So Canonical are basically offering like rebadged support for the Blender Foundation, for Blender, and not just on Ubuntu as well. You know, they're offering Blender support on whatever operating system those organizations happen to be running it on. So, you know, that's an interesting development, and might see more of that in the future, hopefully. Hey, super. Welcome. Hotel room in London. Are you from the UK and happen to be in London, or are you travelling from abroad? Why do people want everyone else to use it? Yeah, I think that's true of everything, right? A lot of people want confirmation bias, don't they? They've discovered Linux, and those people that stick with it are probably happy with it, and they want to have other people feel the same way about their choices. So I think that's where a lot of it comes from. You know, because I think this is great, you should think this is great as well. So, super, you're from Sweden. Well, I hope you're having a lovely stay. Visa interview. Okay. Well, thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you here. Right. Well, was there anything else? I think that's it. So I'm going to be streaming over the weekend as well. We have a racing league. If Yannick is here, I do apologise, but we need to organise the car pick, don't we? When should we do that? When are you free over the weekend, Yannick? Oh, and Linux Pool. Thank you very much. We will not forget to do that. I will open up in a browser over here now, and I will start figuring out what we're going to do. Thank you. Yeah, so we do a racing league. We are the premier hotshot racing league, actually endorsed by the game publishers with t-shirts and everything, man. Yannick's 3D printed the trophies from the game. So the competition is going to be hot. I've bought a new controller because I'm so serious about winning this damn thing this time round. So we're definitely racing on Sunday night. But we also need to pick, probably it'll be pre-season practice on Sunday. So you're not home Sunday and Monday. Oh, right, so you're away. So it's definitely race practice on Sunday with a diminished crowd. But we're going to pick our track order and cars. So this time round, instead of having random tracks and random cars each race, we're going to know in advance which tracks we're racing and which cars have been selected for the tracks, so we can practice, which I'm a little bit concerned about because I'm not the strongest driver and I don't have much time to practice. Maybe some of these morning streams can be me putting in a couple of laps just to get my eye in. Right then. Oh, okay, so there's a couple of people we've raided in the past. What else have we got here? So I'm just having a look at some channels that we could potentially go and drop into. Well, that looks like an interesting one. Let's go there. There's a couple that I've dropped into a couple of times recently, so let's do this one here. Right, okay. So yeah, if you're not followed, I do this most weekday mornings, sometimes a bit earlier than this. Get stuff done, and then in the evenings, I sometimes do longer streams in the evenings where I actually do some sort of serious development on something when I need more time and concentration. And then we do gaming at the weekend, and everything here is Linux, except for when I get an iPhone, and then it won't be. Right then, let's see if I can remember how to do this. Let's see. So I hope everyone has a fabulous weekend, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one of these. I'm just setting up the raid now. Right, there we go. So with that, I will say thank you all for stopping by. Thank you for the new people that have followed and dropped in here today. Alamenda, it's not my house. This is a small office space that I work from, but I'm glad you like it. I'm very happy here. Look back at some of the past streams where in fact yesterday I did a little bit show and tell, Star Wars themed in here, which well, here we go. I'll give you a little shot now. Let's see, how's the raid progressing? We've got a few seconds, so let's just do this. On the overhead here, you can see there's a load of Star Wars related stuff here, and if I wake my phone up, how much time we got? We've got time. I can totally do this. I'm a professional. Let's bring up this one. There we go. Right, if I do that and go to the capture overview, this will come into focus. So it says technology fail. No, that's not gonna go. Anyway, there's loads of Star Wars stuff in here. Right, thank you all for coming, everyone, and we're going raiding. See you in the next one. Bye for now.